Hello everyone and welcome back to Java Forever course. Currently we are learning about subprograms or functions. We are learning how to write our own functions, how to identify the need of a function. We saw in the previous class how to refactor our code into smaller pieces so that we can create functions and reuse our code. The refactoring or splitting our code into smaller pieces also helps us get higher maintainability in the long term. It's a good practice. Let's continue to learn a little bit more. When we identify a function, apart from the function name, apart from the return type, the function name and return type, we also identify list of inputs a function requires. This list of input is also, we used the word parameters in the past. It is also called arguments. A function may have one or more parameters or arguments. Now these parameters or arguments are of two types. One, we call it a formal argument, which is on the function side. And then when we call this function, so on the calling side, we call this as actual arguments, because this is where you are actually passing the value. On the formal side, you are just defining that these are the inputs. But when you call the function, so on the calling side, you actually pass the values. A function may not have any parameter at all. It is also very much possible that it does not require any parameter. So a function may have 0 or more parameter. It depends on the requirement of the function. Now let's take a look at the code here. There are a couple of things. When we define a function, we took a simple idea of adding two numbers. So naturally you need two numbers to add. We defined our output variable, we returned our output variable. In the processing part, we simply added these two numbers. Now we have n1 and n2 as two formal arguments in the add function. When we call this function here in the calling function, that in this case, we are calling this function add, and we are passing two values, the real values. It's not just the name of the variable, it's the actual value that we are passing, x multiplied by 2 and y divided by 2. This is again called actual arguments, because this is the actual values. Second thing is the calling program to called program, or calling function to called function. This is called function. Sorry, here. So this is called called function, and I'm referring this as calling function. It is a clearly one-to-one mapping. The x multiplied by 2 is mapped to n1 here, and y divided by 2 is mapped to n2 here. The value that we pass here, actual value, will move to n1 and n2 here. And this is how a function works. We are calling this function add by passing actually two values, and function will return me a value and system will print it here. I hope the idea of formal and actual arguments makes sense to you. You also now understood how the mapping works. When you call a function, it is mapped sequentially. The first arguments you are passing will go to the first, second will go to the second, and so on. With that, pretty much we have covered this topic. I will see you guys again in the next class. Go ahead and take the quiz. Happy practicing, happy learning. I'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Do subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.